All right, welcome back to Tell It Right. Mike and Jared here for episode 82. How you doing, America? And the few Europeans that listen to us. How you doing? I hope fucking dandy, because Jared and I got a fucking another awesome fucking show for y'all. How you doing, Jared?
I'm doing all right. How about yourself?
I'm doing fucking good. Doing fucking good. Just weekend's coming to an end for us, but
Mm,
hey, man, it is what it is. The weekends are nice. It's getting cooler out.
yeah.
It's a lot
Well,
nicer.
it's cooler this weekend, and then it's supposed to jump up to the 90s all week.
Is it really?
Yeah,
Oh, I was
this
just
weather,
enjoying. I was just
this weather,
enjoying
man.
this. Yeah. Oh well.
Well, they said
Soon.
we're gonna have like an Indian summer or something.
What does that mean? A warm winter?
No, it means that it's still warm late into the season. So like
Oh.
into October, we're still gonna be warm. But
See, I thought we were supposed to have a cooler year this year. Fucking
I think it
A.
was something with the El
No, that was
Nino
last year.
shit.
Fuck that. They can go to
Well,
hell.
yeah, but look at like all the storms and stuff happening in the ocean because of the warm.
Yeah.
It took longer for it to go away or some shit. I don't know what it is,
Yeah,
but
I did hear some weird shit about it. It was like a mutant version of I think it was El Nino last year.
hmm
Yeah, that was like fucked up because weren't we just getting hit with rain, or was it all the southern and northern states? Like, if you look at America and you just split it up into three sections, so we're in
sure.
Illinois, so we'd be like in the middle. But wasn't it like everybody like to the north of us and everybody to the south of us? Weren't they getting like hit with? It was like something they were getting like extra moisture, which they don't normally
hmm
get.
Yeah,
Then what? We were getting droughted. I don't know.
yeah, yeah, something like because it's something with it changes the jet stream because usually the
Yeah,
jet stream comes like around and then down into Chicago and then comes back up, right?
that's why
But
we're
it
in
like
Windy City.
changed how that yeah it changed like how that
Yeah.
jet stream was moving, and so we weren't getting any activity as far as the like weather and whatnot. But
Mm-hmm.
you know, it I don't know.
Fuck.
I the weather has not been terrible.
No, it hasn't. It's just that it like I think last summer, yeah, there was like heat waves that were breaking points and stuff.
Mm,
I mean, I think we had that one day that it hit 100 degrees, and I was just like, I was done that day. But other than
yeah,
that, it's just stayed in the 90s, which I think is probably for the better. You
mm,
know, just at least we're not like in like Phoenix or something where it's 110. You know, and you can't even
yeah.
like fucking go outside. You have to
Well,
like
like
retreat to the mountains.
my stupid brain was, I was like, oh, this weekend I should do like a bunch of chores and this and that around the house, which I was planning on, but got pulled away. But
Yeah.
then at the same time, I'm like, well, maybe I'll just wait until it warms up because for some reason I prefer working outside when it's hot, and I don't know why.
It's weird.
But
Yeah.
like if it's chilly out and I'm working, I think it's the fact that like
You
if
don't
it's
like that
cool,
sweat?
the sweat with
Yeah.
the hoodie on, because then you take the
Uh,
hoodie off and you're in that in between of like I'm hot, but it's like a wind gust comes through, and then you're like, fuck, it's cold. And you put the hoodie back on, it's kind of wet because you're just sweating in it, and then you're just uncomfortable. Where if it's
yeah.
hot, I'm just sweaty, and I'm just warm, and
Yeah.
you know, I could deal with that better, I think.
I just hate when
But
it's hot out and like my fucking boxers get all like jammed up between my legs and shit, and then I start like chafing, and like that's
mhm.
where like baby powder comes in handy. Just like
I
powder
mean,
the
they can only
fuck
do
out of your
so much.
boxers. It
Yeah.
helps. It fucking
I mean,
helps. I'll tell you that.
oh
That
yeah,
man,
when
fucking
in the
gold bond,
military,
gold
when we were
bond
doing like
medicated.
rock march, yeah, we were doing rock marches. I had like a mini gold bond thing that I would just fucking
Yeah, just
batter myself up all the time.
you probably
But
like fucking slapped your side and just like puffs of like fucking dust just
yeah,
come off you.
It was like LeBron James when he throws the powder up in the air.
It's fucking wild. But dude, so last week in the news, fucking Alec Baldwin, they were talking about bringing him back to trial for
Really?
Rust. So we've covered this from day one here, man.
Mhm.
It's just so yeah. Basically, his trial over the summer was dismissed due to like prosecution in their evidence, and like there was evidence that wasn't even entered and stuff, and so like the judge just kind of took it upon herself to go after or basically tell the prosecution like, you guys fucked up. There's no reason to continue on with this case and all this shit. So
Mhm.
he's off the hook. So something happened. Well, yeah, that's what it was. This new evidence came up. I guess, and I guess Baldwin's team knew about it, but they never said anything about it. The
Okay.
prosecution found it. Another officer took some other set of fucking dummy rounds or live rounds and never fucking reported it. And then it got reported just recently, and now there's so they were trying to bring it back to trial. However, it's been decided that this will not be retried. So that son of a bitch, motherfucker, got off red-handed. Like, fucking A, dude.
Yeah.
Like, this prosecutor she wanted fucking blood over this.
Yeah.
But they fucked up. They didn't know about those other bullets. They might have had a trial if they had the bullets, but yeah, I don't know. It was fucked up, dude.
These people, like, I feel like nobody's good at their job anymore.
Right?
Like, I think this whole, like, I hate to get into it, but like the DIE shit or DEI, the diversity stuff and like
Yeah.
how people hire people and the fact that like we aren't hiring people that are good for the job. We're hiring for numbers and trying to get like a certain percentage of something. Like you have to hire a certain amount of African American people or people
Well,
with disabilities and stuff. But it's like if I'm flying on an airplane, I don't care who the fuck is flying the plane as long as they're good at their job. You know what I mean? Like
yeah.
they shouldn't be sitting there being like, oh well, we have to hire X amount of
They're
African
not going to
Americans.
do that for a pilot, dude.
You don't know that though.
No,
I
yeah.
mean, look what they did with with
No.
the Trump. The number one thing right here, the Trump assassination attempt. Watching that woman fumble around and all those women fumble around and like she was hiding behind the other people when the bullets went off, for not protecting the
Right.
president or
Yeah, but
Trump. But it's
listen, that's a different story. When it comes to the FAA, they're not putting like unqualified. You have to have so many hours in a fucking
I
airplane.
don't know. Look at it. Look into it. I bet you they're doing some shit where
Well, listen, man. If they were, there would be a lot more plane crashes than you're seeing. And I haven't heard of any American plane crashes. The only thing I've heard of is the stupid fucking door that ripped open. And
that's
that,
just because Boeing sucks.
right, that's a manufacturing thing. And that could be what you're calling this DEI thing or whatever. That could be hiring somebody unqualified doing something like that, which maybe not. Maybe it was more of a management thing over there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I still, when it comes to when they put somebody in a cockpit, I don't think they. I think that's still a serious fucking thing, and you need to have at least so many fucking flying hours. You know what I mean? I just don't think. I don't think that's a good example. I don't think they're going to do that with
So how about this? You've got a
maybe police. They definitely
let's say
do that
you're-
with police.
You're hiring. Let's say you're
Yeah.
hiring people, and
Right.
you have an African American and a white guy, and they both have the same amount of hours and whatnot. but you have to you have to hire that black guy because your percentage of people that you're taking on. I mean, they do that shit because like they do it for veterans. Like there's certain companies that will hire veterans and they get like tax breaks from the government for doing so.
But
And then
you got to
like,
remember,
we're proud to do this. It's like they're getting something out of this. It
Yeah.
isn't like,
but remember Vietnam though, when everybody came
Mhm.
back, people are getting spit on, no one's hiring them, and
Yeah.
there's a lot of mental health issues that went on.
oh, absolutely.
You know, it was a mess. That's why there's that helmets to hard hat program or whatever, helmets to
Mhm.
work program. You know, I mean, because here is the thing though. I mean, maybe this is army propaganda, but when you do go through that, you are getting a training that is different from the rest of society. You're being taught to think differently, you know, to think certain ways, to think logically, and all that stuff does translate into a business world. You know what I mean? It does.
Oh yeah, yeah.
It helps with leadership and all that stuff.
Absolutely.
So, but yeah, no, you're right. I mean, they are. Yeah, there's two factors to it. It's just they're probably blindly doing it. That, you know what I mean? Where it's like,
Mhm.
well, fuck, they were in the military, and we're getting this tax incentive for it. It's a win-win. You know, so
Yeah.
you know we're getting somebody that's already highly trained, you know, and knows how to apply it to other things, as well as we're getting a tax break on it. Which I get it. I mean, I don't think that's so evil, but I
Not
think that's
so much in that case. I mean,
that's what. But like that's what should be done. Like, you know, because if businesses have the power to do what they want. So, I mean, and if they're not taking care of the people that are fucking, you know, sacrificing their lives so they can continue that business,
yeah.
you know what I mean? Like,
I guess
yeah.
the military was a bad example. I mean, but
Yeah.
you get what I mean. I mean,
I get what you're
incentive. There is
Yeah.
incentive. It's the same type of program, but I mean, I
Right.
100% agree that it's a good incentive. I mean,
But no.
highly trained people.
Well, hold on. But law enforcement, though, I will agree.
Yeah.
Law enforcement will do the mix of it all. They'll get they'll get the military, but they'll also get incentive to hire this whatever you're calling DEI or whatever. But you know, like I know, like I've heard rumors like in like Chicago, for instance. That's a good example. Most fucking crooked city ever, right? So in the city of Chicago, to become a police officer, like if you're a white person, you're kind of on the bottom of the fucking list, unless you actually know people that can pull strings. I'm sure that still happens today, but like
Yeah.
you have a better chance of being like Latino, black, or whatever, because you know that's what's wanted. You know, and I think there's an initiative on, you know, the city of Chicago's end to do that. That's been going on for years, right? But like, yeah, there's this rush to push people into positions that, you know, and sometimes maybe they're not qualified. But like, you know, I also learned too that like standards change. They go up and down as the years go on.
Mhm.
So like a good example is in law enforcement back in like the 1970s. Like I think it was the 1970s if I have this correct. They're having a hard time getting police officers. There was a shortage. All right, and it was because the national standard was way too fucking high. They wanted everybody to have like a high school reading level. And it doesn't sound fucking hard, right? However, most of the country was at a 6th grade reading level. So these guys weren't passing the simple cognitive, you know, whatever fucking test that they were supposed to be taking. You know, they probably, though, excelled, though, in all the physical, you know, other aspects and shit like that. Mm-hmm. So they had to lower the standards so they could get the volume of police that they needed and stuff. And then, but that will change over time because then education will catch up. Now, all of a sudden, the country's at a fucking high school reading level. So now you can start, you know, upping the test, making it harder and trying to pull from that crop. But, like, my point is, when they lower the standards, and like the military does this too,
Mm-hmm.
everybody in a sense will do it when the time is needed. But like, yeah, they will lower the standards to a degree and bring on people. And sometimes, yeah, they might bring on retards or something that might do something fucking stupid, or
Yeah.
people that psychologically shouldn't, because they probably dropped that too. You know what I mean? So, yeah, we might just be in that fucking time period where it's just like things are shit. So
A shit show.
so the bar's been dropped, and maybe it's 5-10 years before the bar rises again, and we're back to working with sane people, and fast food restaurants aren't fucking up and all that shit.
Oh my god. Well, I mean, you already see this stuff. Like, the consumers are changing the landscape. So, I mean,
Yeah.
I know we're getting way out off topic here, but look at
No, fuck Alec Baldwin. The main point about
Yeah.
him is he's gonna go tug his meat somewhere and
exactly.
be fine.
He's getting off because of what we're talking about anyway.
Yeah. Well, no, probably not. It's probably more or less of something else, but this is a good topic to talk about anyways, since we got on it.
So look at, and it was in the news just recently, the CEO of Harley Davidson.
Yeah.
They were starting to do all kinds of, the woke stuff and all this and that, and that is 100% not the Harley Davidson rider. I mean, I'm sorry, it's, middle-aged men, and they have the money. Harley Davidsons right now are ridiculously priced. Like, you're paying more than a car cost, like $30,000 minimum, or, you're getting them decked out and they're, $50,000-$60,000 for a motorcycle.
Yeah.
The people that have that disposable income are going to be the boomers. You know what I mean? And those people are not all about the woke society.
That's the thing, though. They're on their way out. They're another 20 years, and this new generation's taking over. That's what's happening. It's changed on this massive scale, and it's scary. But I mean, I don't know. It's just like, I'm just like, don't fucking turn authoritarian and make me have to check in at checkpoints every like fucking mile or something like that. Like that. That's all I care about. You want to fucking grow a dick or cut yours off? I don't care. Do it.
Yeah.
But don't make me a fucking bigot because I don't want to fucking play around with that shit, motherfuckers. Yeah. Exactly. But like, I don't really give a fuck though if you want to, wear a dress and masturbate or something. I don't know.
I mean, what the problem I have is like everybody's, and I get that like in advertisement, and that's probably what's ruined this world is advertisement. They always say sex sells. All that.
Dude, Mad Men. Mad Men was telling us all along like this is a problem.
Exactly.
This is a problem. This is why we made the show. The show's not to entertain you. It's a fucking problem. Stop it.
Yeah.
This is where it started. It's dumb fucking Americans. Stop it.
But I mean, looking at it, so the whole sex sells thing. So they really always push the whole, there's boobs on TV and all this and that, and it's really made us numb to that idea. But now it's like everybody wants to be known for their sexuality, which is like that. How does that define you as a person? You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
I don't want to. Oh, he's a straight guy. Like that's like defining somebody at their primal level of who they are. Like that's probably the worst thing you could do. Why aren't you? Hey, I'm this and that. I'm really smart.
Why does our word have to be straight? Why can't we be like curved? Like why can't the curves be like the ones that like are
curves.
Heterosexual, but like why can't the straights be the gay ones or something like that? Like that always got me. But it is what it is.
Yeah.
So,
But anyways.
but well, that was a very, very interesting conversation. So glad we talked about it. Glad that's out there. Glad it's out there for you guys to listen to. So hopefully you haven't shut us off yet. But yeah. All right. Well, let's get in the next thing here. So I got some TikToks again. So I will. Did I get rid of those? No, we got them right here, babe.
Most of the job creation has gone to migrants. In fact, I've heard that substantially
Sleepy
more
Joe
than
in the background is hilarious.
Tell them it's over 100%. That'll make total sense.
beyond the number of 100%. It's a much higher number than that.
That's fucking hilarious, dude. Yeah, like, I don't care what side you're on. Like, the fact that Joe Biden is in a Jedi robe, standing as a Jedi ghost behind Donald Trump as he gives a speech, and then he's just like, I think it's like, all right, so yeah, they make fun of Joe Biden all the time. You know, Sleepy Joe, he's got dementia. But, like, you know he's that fucking jokester guy. Like, you know he's that, like, fucking weirdo that, like, fucking says shit to you. And you're just kind of looking back like, what the fuck are you saying to me? Like, he's always fucking around with someone's head, right? And, like, here we go. Donald Trump is just like, tell him it's over 100, bro. Tell him it's over 100. It'll make total sense. Oh, actually, the number's beyond 100%.
Yeah.
So that's priceless. I mean, like I said, like, it doesn't matter what side of the spectrum you're on, you gotta appreciate that one because it makes fun of both of them all at the same time.
The spectrum. You said like you have autism.
Well, I mean, politics is autism. I don't know what we're I don't know what we're denying here, people. So. All right, well, there's that one. There's that one. So this next one, this is a song. This is going to be bizarre. We can get this one to go.
Off the streets, I have no fear. I always know my karate is near. I never have to fight, and I'll tell you why. No one wants to fight with a samurai.
I'm a samurai, and that's better yet. I got the kicks, got the punches, the intuitive punches. I just want to mention to release the tension. Karate, train your body.
I train for fun. I'm a shogun. Karate, train your body. I train in my car. I'm a ninja. Karate. Train your body. Come on, everybody, train karate. Karate.
So what'd you think?
What was that?
Do you know what that
Karate.
reminded?
Train your body.
What did he say? I like to train. Or something. I'm a shogun. No, hold on, I have it written down somewhere actually. No, the best part is though where he tries to rhyme, I think karate with ninja, and he can't. Let me see here. But looking at some of the comments, first person writes, "I'm telling my kids this was Wu-Tang Clan."
Oh God.
Bro rhymes car with ninja. Oh, that's what it was. With ninja and just keeps it moving. That's some courage. Eminem's been real quiet since this dropped. Is this the sequel to I Want to Be a Ninja? Oh, God, you remember that song?
Yeah, that lady.
I wanna be ninja.
Oh God.
Oh, man. What the fuck was it? Hit something. Oh yeah, I trained for fun because I'm a shogun. This is so.
Gosh.
But no, you know what this reminded me of? The
What?
So remember from The Boys? Remember what's his face? Can't I think of the guy's name now? Homelander's dad. Soldier Boy. That's what it was. Soldier Boy does this. They have him in the 80s doing some kind of special with Blondie, and he sings this song, but it's like the way he sings it, because they're trying to make it like he's this, superhero guy, but like he's just kind of off the streets. He doesn't sing. It's like the Super Bowl shuffle, dude. That's what it's like. A bunch of people that don't know how to fucking sing, and they're just kind of like trying to make their pathetic words just like blend with the beat or whatever.
Okay.
But like like in the Super Bowl shuffle, like every time they all had their line, it was kind of fucking lame. You know what I mean?
Oh,
it was kind of like this. Let me see if I can find that the boys one. Soldier Boy sings. This is probably gonna pull up a bunch of weird shit. Oh, here we go.
Special guest, Soldier Boy.
Fab Five Freddy told me everybody's fly. DJ spinning, I said my. Flash is fast, Flash is cool. Francois Sapah, Flash ain't no dude, and you don't stop. Sure shot, go out to the parking lot. And you get in your car and you drive real far. And you drive all night, then you see a light. Comes right down and lands on the ground, and out comes a man from Mars. And you try to run, but he's got a gun. And he shoots you dead, and he eats your head. And then you're in the Man from Mars. And you go out at night, eating cars, you eat Cadillacs, Lincolns too, Mercuries and Subaru. And you don't stop, you keep on eating cars. Then, when there's no more cars, you go out at night and eat up bars where the people meet, face to face. Dance cheek to cheek, one to one, man to man, dance toe to toe. Don't move too slow, cause the Man from Mars is through with cars. He's eating bars, yeah, wall to wall, door to door, hall to hall. He's gonna eat them all. Rapture, be pure. Take a tour through the sewer. Don't strain your brain, paint a train. You'll be singing in the rain. I said, don't stop to punk rock.
You get where I'm going at with this here? It's like the same fucking thing. It's just like, that was way better. Don't get me wrong. Like, everything rhymed. But it's just like that fucking, like, I don't know how to sing. Here's a bunch of words. Here's a beat. It's like, he's basically, I don't want to say it's like talking, but it's like he's just talking.
Yeah, I mean, he's not singing, that's for sure.
Right. It's like that voice right before you start hitting those higher notes with your vocal cords. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? It's just like you're stopping just short of that.
Yeah, he's got no range in it. It's just like talking, but in a rhythm.
Now, here's the funny thing. So that last comment was, I'm telling my kids this was the Wu-Tang Clan. Mm-hmm. Like, this, ironically, there's a comment similar on the first one is, telling my kids this was Captain America.
It does kind of look like Captain America.
Well, yeah, it does. Absolutely. It's like they took the same suit. It's like they took a rejected Captain America suit. It's like somebody made it for Marvel and was like, here, Captain America should wear this. They're like, you're dumb as fuck. You're fired. Yeah. And then they took that suit and they got hired by the boys and they're like, I got this rejected Captain America suit. Perfect.
Yeah.
Hired.
You're hired.
You're getting $100,000 an episode. More than some of the people on this show. I don't know. But yeah, that's what that music video reminded me of. I thought it was just fucking Blondie all over again.
Yeah. Yeah, that was weird.
Or Soldier Boy all over again. But yeah, it's like the mix of the Chicago Bears Super Bowl shuffle and then Soldier Boy in this ninja reboot. I wanna be ninja. But apparently, like, I honestly, that was like the most racist fucking thing to do in the world. I get it. That chick had no idea because she didn't speak English or whatever.
Mhm.
But, like, for somebody to do that is just really, like, I feel it's unhinged and evil, dude. You know what I mean? It's like that rich person that's just, like, hires people to, like, kill themselves in front of them or something. Not that that's
I can
real.
see that, but
It's like the Purge. But, like, or like Squid Games where, yeah, rich people basically pay bums to participate in games that kill them.
yeah.
See, that's something we should talk about on Conspiracy Night because
Bum fights.
well, no, we need to do research on it, but like the Squid Games was based on like true concepts, not like that to that degree, but like we're rich people, like cockfighting, but only with it's probably bare knuckle boxing with fucking with bums or something, and they go fight in cages in like South Korea or wherever or Thailand, and a bunch of fucking people are just betting on who's gonna die or who's gonna win. You know, I'm sure there's a lot of that kind of shit like that.
Thailand.
Yeah, Thailand for sure, or Thailand, whatever you want to call it.
Thailand.
You find a lot of thighs out there in Thailand.
I'm sure there are a lot of men thighs.
Well, Thailand's supposed to be like the most like dangerous place ever because there's like no rule of law. There is a rule of law, but they don't like give a fuck. It's highly corrupted. Yeah, I guess like people kill each other all the time and nobody does anything about it or something. That could just be. It could just be some kind of propaganda, but I don't know. I'm not going there though.
Yeah,
I have no reason to go there whatsoever for anything.
I saw this one guy made a reel or a TikTok on it, and he's like, what are you gonna do in Thailand if you go there or whatever it was? And he's like, you're gonna eat some street food. He's like, what are you gonna get, some hand jobs? It's like, how many hand jobs can you get? Like, that's all you can do. He's like, you get like 20, 30 hand jobs. He's like, you're going to get like 40, 50, like 60 of them? Like, how many?
What the fuck,
Just
dude?
keeps on like raising it.
It's fucking wild.
But it's like, that's all they're known for.
Yeah. I mean, like, yeah, I have no reason to go to Thailand. There's this guy on TikTok I follow. I don't know why I follow him. His life is so fucking boring. All he does, he lives in a container in somewhere in California. All right, and whatever. Like, somebody's like, "Oh, well, how do you don't have like he takes showers by filling up like a big like jug of water." Popping a hole on the cap, and then he just lets all the water trickle out, and he's got like super long hair and shit too, so it's like kind of like a gross lifestyle. But then he's randomly in people's houses, and like he never like says what he's doing. Like, he doesn't give you any information. Like, he just like ignores you, and then when you start talking about certain things, he starts talking. It's weird. But, like, then I catch him, yeah, he's in, like, Thailand, whatever the fuck you call it. I call it Thailand, motherfucker. But anyways, so, like, yeah, he's out there, and he's just walking around there doing the same thing he does in his container. But instead, he's just exploring. You don't actually see him buy anything or do anything, and I don't know. Maybe he's just going out there to get laid, but... You know, he's one of those guys that has, like, a shit ton of, like, moms, you know, that got nothing to do all day. That are popping in and asking him, oh, how's your day, beautiful? You know, like, dreaming like they're going to sleep with this guy one day. But but the reality is they got, like, 5 kids and a husband that works all the time. So.
I mean, if I were to just become homeless, I would just... go live in California under a pier or something, because then you could just shower at the beach.
Nah, dude, I just sit in front of a building and they can't get rid of me. unless they're like doing like the Olympics or something.
Yeah. But I mean, if you go to like the Santa Monica Pier, you could just live there and then like eat through the trash that people throw away every night. And
Well, you're right. I mean, there's a lot of amenities in California that are just available to the public. That yeah, you could be homeless and you could probably do it pretty well. You know, like
yeah,
I don't know.
I'm good at being homeless.
Well, hold on. Let me explain what I mean by that. Like, you know, obviously there's people that are homeless because they got disabilities or something and they can never make money. So they're forced to live out on the streets. But there is a degree of people that like to be nomads, so they save up money. You know, some of these people, like, yeah, they'll do odd jobs or something because they got skills and they can just live out of a van or some shit like that. Because there's a lot of people that are doing that now, where they buy like a Sprinter van and they turn it into a little RV, to where they can actually sleep. But like, you know, a lot of places are starting to crack down. Like, you got to be in an RV park, like Sedona, for instance. There's a big fucking thing going on, or there was going on in Sedona. So there's no RV park in Sedona, but there's people that are homeless that are traveling. You know, there's people that are homeless that actually work in Sedona. So they're trying to stay in Sedona, but they can't afford, obviously, because it's expensive out there. Yeah. And, you know, they can't really afford to truck their fucking RV back and forth from Cottonwood, where the nearest RV park is at. So, and also the RV park costs money, obviously, right? So, yeah, you can't do that. It's got to be free. So there's people in Sedona that are arguing to have RV parking spots, like no permits, or maybe you go get a permit or something. Or no, that's what people are doing now. They're getting permits and trying to park in the like the forest preserve parts, like where all the hiking and stuff is at. Mm-hmm. Because you can get a day pass for like $5, all right? And you can you pretty much, as long as you have that pass, you can be parked in a forest preserve parking lot, or National Forest Service parking lot.
Okay.
So they do that, but then people in the town are trying to make certain parking lots available for like RV parking for free, you know, no permit needed, so you can stay overnight. And but you know, there's another part of the town that's like, fuck that, we don't want that, you know. But but the argument is these are the people that work and service this town and service the tourists that bring in the money and all that. So there's like we do
incentive to have it be free, because they're going to spend money in other places. Right?
Well, the idea, I mean, well, the thing is, it's like, all right, we're expecting them to come and work and take care of the tourists that come and bring money into the town, right? But at the same time, we're not providing them affordable housing or something, or like an incentive to actually be here, because the money, because these shops don't make a whole lot of money, but like there's a ton of them around there that also contribute to why Sedona's a nice fucking place. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, don't get me wrong, a lot of these people working in these shops probably fucked around and, well, they found out what life is really about, and like, you know, so yeah, they fucked themselves. So this is, you know, what they're getting, a hard life. But yeah, I mean, like, I don't agree necessarily with the fucking RV thing, but maybe that is the first step.
Yeah.
But I think that maybe if Sedona really wants to be impactful and doesn't want this kind of riffraff, maybe try to find a program to figure out how to get them an education so they can get the fuck out of an RV and get the fuck away from Sedona and maybe go back to Phoenix, you know, or something like that. Yeah. I don't know, but maybe that's too socialist. I don't know. But maybe it's like an incentive for the employers, like maybe the village or the town of Sedona, yeah, like we'll give them some kind of break incentive break for putting people into like some kind of training program that allows them to grow outside of the fucking shop or something like that. I don't know. And two, it's like, if Sedona probably could be better than what it is if the film industry was still there. Once the film industry left, it became a ghost town, and then all those actors, like the Clint Eastwood, De Niro, and all those actors of that era, they are the ones that bought houses out there and turned it into that, pretty much that tourist town. Because once they started going there, everybody wanted to go there.
Well, yeah,
Then the Reiki healers showed up there. And now it's a fucking holistic town up the ass. So.
Well, they did the same thing for in Montana.
I think in Idaho too.
Yeah, there was like cheap land, so they all like brought all the actors and actresses moved out there, and then they made it all swanky and shit. And like I was talking to one guy, he's like, "Yeah, my sister lived in Montana or something," and then all of a sudden, all these actors and actresses started moving out there, and her rent like doubled, in a year because it got so popular.
But dude, LA is just dead to them now. Like the problem with LA is like, so when LA first became Hollywood and they were making movies there, so obviously there was a lot of land back then, and it wasn't like there wasn't as much population of people. It wasn't as easy to travel, too. You know what I mean? Yeah. So, like, there was still a lot of privacy. It was pretty calm, You went to work, whatever. It was the film town. Then as time went on, more and more people started coming to L.A. to become actors and actresses, right? The American dream. And then more and more development, right? Well, with the more people, then all of a sudden this thing where that whole phenomenon where it's like celebrities are gods started happening, and now weirdos are coming into people's properties and shit like that, and so the actors and stuff and the celebrities and the people with money, they start moving further away from LA, and they start going into the hills and all this shit. Well, still having the same issues. People are finding them, and then now they're moving even farther with longer driveways, but like they are literally like getting to the point where they're hours away from LA now. And so what fucking point does it make to do it? So yeah, you could go to Montana and you could probably fly into LA, and do some bullshit for a day or whatever. I don't know. But like the thing about LA is like, yeah, those rich people kept opting to move further out to try to get away from all the tourists coming to try to like see their homes, because it's weird when we were doing tours, we were seeing old celebrity houses, and like some of them were pretty close to LA, and they you couldn't really get to them, but like then there was like ones that were like, well, there was this one that was like right off the main street, and it was where the Doors lived. And it's like, holy fuck, they lived right off a main street, And you kind of think to your head, well, wouldn't they want some more seclusion? And it was back then. It was probably secluded back then. That road probably wasn't as big. Probably didn't have as much traffic. You know what I mean? But then the Grateful Dead lived in that same neighborhood where like the fucking... what do you call it? The Full House was at.
Really?
Yeah. So the Full House obviously was a sound stage and all that, but the outside facade in the original was a real house that they modeled off of. But that, I forget what they call that neighborhood, but yeah, I believe the Grateful Dead lived over there back in like the 70s. I don't think it was great back in the 70s when they lived, or it was. I don't know. I'm pretty sure they lived over there, though.
Yeah.
All right. Well, enough with that. We've talked a lot about that here real quick. We'll be right back. All right, we're back. So Jared and I just watched the clip from Back to the Future. It was the introduction scene. So Jared, tell me, what did you see in what we just watched here. Like I'm not like there's no right or wrong question or answer here.
Mm-hmm.
I just want you to just think about that scene again and just like think about what you actually saw. That camera panning through everything, and like just tell me what you think you saw.
I mean, so the beginning of Back to the Future, where it was just the opening scene where it's the garage. It goes over and it says, you know, like, I think you see a quick clip of the newspaper where his house burned down and he's living in that garage, which is next to a Burger King. Which is
Yeah, right.
so weird. You know, and that he hasn't been there obviously for a while. You know, you got the pictures of, you know, Benjamin Franklin and Einstein and all them, and you know, see some of his inventions working with the dog food thing and all this and that. And then obviously Marty blowing himself up with a amplifier, which
Of course, yeah.
why the fuck does he have such a big amplifier?
Yeah, right. Like,
Thinking is like I'm just gonna build this.
well, that must be like, hey Marty, hey, I need some help. I can build you a big amplifier. It's like bringing a kid with candy into a fucking van.
Yeah.
Like in this case, you know, obviously the doc knows who Marty is.
Yeah.
So yeah, anything else that popped up to you as we got to the high school?
I mean, nothing that really stood out.
Okay.
I guess I just don't know what I'm supposed to be looking for.
Well, no, yeah, that's the. I
Yeah.
mean, right. No, I hear you. So here, I'm gonna go through what I learned about here, and I think it's quite crazy, actually. So that beginning part, starting in the garage, so we start to hear ticking noise, and then all of a sudden it kind of fades in, and we start seeing clocks, and the camera's panning through all these clocks, just clocks everywhere. And so basically what's happening is they're setting us up for the movie. They're telling us that this is a movie about time. At the very basis, this is about something to do with time, okay? And so the clocks keep ticking. He keeps moving forward. And I don't know if you caught this, but there's a picture of Doc Brown hanging off the clock tower. So now that's not something you're supposed to really identify here. I think that's something that's supposed to kind of, if you catch it, you know, you're going to be like, oh, dude, that was in the house in the beginning of the movie. But it's very faint when you see it.
Yeah.
But anyways, so it's going through the clocks. And then it goes down. Now you start seeing, you know, all these famous scientists, Einstein and, you know, Newton and whoever he had over there. Now we're starting to let us know that there's some kind of intellectual now behind all of this, why these clocks are ticking. And now we're seeing all of a sudden the coffee maker, failed experiments that, you know. But now then we're also seeing the dog food opener, which is now it's showing proof of, you know, concepts that work. Yeah, success. Okay. So, and then obviously you saw the TV that kind of came before that. You know, they're talking about missing plutonium, and then Marty walks in confused. Nobody's around, puts his board down, board hits the plutonium. So now we've answered where the plutonium's at. And then, so whatever, Marty just decides to be the selfish fuck he is and go play guitar with his nice big amplifier that, you know, the doc has bribed him with to help him out.
Yeah.
So whatever, that right there is this idea of power. That there is a lot of power that's going to be dealing with in this movie and whatnot, okay? And so he blows it and he goes flying back. Doc calls. All right, so he's talking to the doc. Doc's telling him, I need you tonight, blah, blah, blah. So now we know who the doc is, and we know now there's this guy, Marty, that has something to do with the doc, and they're doing some experiment at 1 o'clock at the Twin Pines Mall that night. But then the clocks go off, right? And the famous line, wait, Doc, it's 8:25? I'm late for school. And then it starts the whole Huey Lewis and the day. And we're like, fuck yeah, this movie's getting started, you know? All right, so here's the fucking thing about that, dude. And this is the most mind-blowing motherfucking thing I've ever heard of in my life. All right, disclaimer, I did not come to this conclusion. I found this on TikTok. Okay. Excuse me. Okay. The doc tells Marty that he ran an experiment and that it is actually 8:25 and that his experiment worked. And his clocks are now 8 o'clock. Now, obviously, in the obvious, we just think to ourselves, oh, maybe he just set his fucking clocks 25 minutes backwards, right?
Yeah.
No, he ran an experiment. That experiment is why they went to Twin Pine Malls that night. He did a flux capacitor experiment that worked. Marty was in the garage during the experiment. Marty was back in time. Okay? The moment he left the garage itself is the flux capacitor in this. There's some device in there, you know, that's like some kind of flux capacitor experiment. And then when Marty books out, that whole scene going to the high school is Marty catching up to time. So, like, he leaves the garage, and now he starts jumping. Like, he's on a skateboard. You can only go so fast. So he's going on the back of cars. Cars are gliding him across the city to get to the high school so he doesn't get in trouble and all that. And so, you know, obviously, the other big point of that scene is to show you life in Hill Valley. You know, that's the most obvious part to that is it's giving you a frame of reference of where Marty is in time and that he's in Hill Valley in 1985 or whatever, and this is what Hill Valley looks like. There's a fucking theater that's now an adult theater. You know, everybody's doing fucking yoga, you know, the clock tower looks kind of shitty, you know, it's a huge parking lot in front of it, looks kind of dilapidated. You're introduced to Mayor Goldie Wilson, you know, all these foreshadows to who you're going to meet in the future, or in the past. I'm sorry, guys, in the past. But yeah, no, basically from that start to the high school is like the most genius fucking introduction that I've like kind of figured, you know, learned about. Like just how it walked through everything and like literally gave you the basis of what this, like how this movie's going to play out. And then it gave you some foreshadowing Easter eggs. Like for instance, Doc Brown on the fucking clock tower. There's a picture of him, you know? So there, oh my God. Am I still here?
Yeah, you're still there.
I just saw a sign. Okay, I just saw a sign that said, we're trying to reconnect you. I hope I didn't. Oh, we're unstable again. But, yeah, no, we're unstable again. I was just rambling on about how unstable it is.
You're back now.
All right. We shouldn't have missed anything anyway, so. But, yeah, no, I wanted to bring that up. I think I'm gonna try to do more like that, where we I'll just take a clip from a movie, we'll watch it, and then we'll just kind of go on it, man, because I think that was cool, you know, just being out because it's fresh in your mind. So, and I hope everybody here fucking enjoyed that. I hope you learned something today. Movies aren't just for your entertainment. There's fucking story. There's messages in there, bros.
I heard this one theory that so no matter what, right, even if you invent something and go back in time, that event has always still happened.
Yeah, right.
So technically, when Marty went back in time and met the Doc there, after that, the Doc knew Marty and had to, you know, go that whole time until Marty was born and then go find him again for that whole thing to take place, already knowing that Marty was going to come back in time and do all that.
So you're saying that the doc should not have known Marty was coming? Like, who Marty was?
Well, he already did, though. So no matter what the time frame is, because once he invented that, that happened, right?
Yeah, right.
Invented the time machine. So basically, the old doc at that point knew that he was going to have to, like, groom Marty.
Right.
To do that whole situation, because he already knew it was going to happen.
Yes, and that's what I was kind of getting at with the whole candy with the van and whatnot.
Yeah,
because, it was like, I was actually just going to make like a fucking pedo joke about it, actually. Yeah. But no, that actually kind of clicked after doing all this research, that's what the amplifier is essentially like. Because, like, honestly, like, before today, when you saw that scene, like, what did that really mean to you? You know what I mean? Like,
Nothing
it was just...
really.
Yeah, exactly.
It's kind of silly. Why do you, like I said, why do you have such a big-ass amplifier at house?
Right, and now it makes sense because Marty likes music. And the doc met Marty, 25 fucking years ago or whatever.
Yeah.
And he's the one... It basically, if he doesn't get Marty back to the future, then the time machine doesn't work, essentially. Yeah. But, like, there's this other, like, so there's this other theory, it's, like, called the continuum theory, where you go back in time, but it doesn't matter what you do because it's already a set, like, thing, if that makes sense. So,
if it happened, it already happened.
Right, you're supposed to go back in time. So, like, I guess, like, that's kind of like the thing with Back to the Future. It's kind of like the continuum theory, but at the same time, it's not, because there's still this error for margin that can happen, which did, and he had to fix that. But the continuum theory would state that everything's going to everything that's supposed to happen is going to happen. So if you get sent back in time, even though you're like, I'm going to do this instead of that, it was supposed to happen that way.
Yeah.
Just like when I snap my fingers, you'll forget that you were ever gay.
I'm not falling for that one.
I am sure. I tried to do that to my wife twice. She just looks at me and I go, "You're supposed to say that you're not gay," and she's like, "I'm gay." That's how she gets back to me. I'm gay.
But so then, think of it this way: if then you're time traveling and you go and change something in the timeline, then isn't it for it to change anything down the road or in that path? Wouldn't it just be changing timelines or dimensions?
Right. Well, that's what you would think. But this whole continuum theory is basically saying that, like, it's like it's predestination shit if you think about it, or predestiny shit, because it's like you get sent back in time, and like you have shit in your head where you're like, I'm going to change things. I'm not going to let it happen this way, but it doesn't matter. It's still going to happen that way. And maybe it's one of those, I don't know, like, if you get into
like
that,
in Rick and Morty where he's got the place saver thing.
Yeah.
So no matter what, it actually did happen, but he moved timelines or dimensions to a point where he replaced somebody. So it didn't happen. So no matter what, if I did something in this timeline,
I suppose,
it's not going to affect this timeline because we moved timeline. So technically, you're not. Again, time is a construct, right? Our sense of time is whatever. So it's not changing time; it's changing
dimension. Yeah,
dimension.
Right. Well, that's the thing too. Yeah, with Back to the Future, like Marty never came back to his point A, where he left. He never made it back. He came back to
Lone Pine Mall.
Right. He's in an alternate reality. Yeah. And then they create another one when they go to the future.
Mm-hmm.
Or something to do. I don't know. That might not be that good of a script, when you kind of think about it, you
Yeah.
know. It's like, oh, first, the issue was you got in the way of your parents making love, so your mom wants to bang you now, so you got to figure that shit out. And now
Not
the
to
next,
mention you look exactly like the man that they met 30 years ago.
I would
At
love
their dance.
somebody needs to like make a skit where that scene is explained, where they just go, "Hey, Marty, can you come in here for a second? You know that guy
Yeah.
Doc Brown you hang out with? Yeah. Did you go back in time? I don't know. But obviously, but here's what gets me the most here is so in Marty's original timeline where the Doc pulls him in to, help him because obviously Marty's got to go back in time and then come back here, whatever.
Mhm.
Otherwise, we don't have a fucking movie. But I guess my issue with it is, okay, if Marty ended up coming back to an alternate reality, then what the fuck happened beforehand? You know what I mean? Obviously that's someone's gonna be like, dude, it's a fucking movie, shut the fuck up. But I guess I want to try to understand scientifically, if you can, if it's possible. Is there what is it? Just this whole loop of Marty ends up creating a new alternate reality every time he gets back to 1955 or whatever. So maybe
Well, it's the branches, but again, we're using it branches as timeline branches, but
Right.
technically, again, like we're saying, it's a different dimension because that timeline has always happened no matter what, right? So this dimension's always going to have this happening. This dimension's going to have this happening. So unless I'm moving dimensions to where that actually happened,
yeah.
then because you can't change that timeline. Again, like the Lone Pine thing.
No,
When
right.
he went to that mall, that should have already happened no matter what, when he went back in time. So it should have always been Lone Pine Mall.
That's what I'm saying. So that,
Yeah.
is he alternate? So if we were to somehow generate what happened previously, before
Mhm.
Back to the Future. So obviously it would have to be Marty going back in time again. Maybe it was what do I want to call it? Triplet Pine Mall. I don't fucking know.
Yeah.
He keeps taking out a pine every time he goes back in 1955.
Yeah.
Now it's just going to be fucking
There's
mall.
no Pine Mall.
No Pine Mall.
Pineless Mall. Pineless Mall.
But that's what I'm trying to understand here is the idea is Marty is creating a new alternate branch or
Mhm.
dimension every time he returns to 1985. So maybe the last time he went out there, he didn't actually get involved with his parents. He was able to get right to Doc, and then obviously they figured out the bell tower and all that shit, and they got back, and then now Back to the Future starts. Parents fucking hate each other and all that shit, and then we go through Back to the Future, and now it's an alternate reality. And if that were to happen again, what happens? Does Marty's parents go back to hating each other and all that? I don't know. That's just that is Rick and Morty right there. Just all the different combinations of different fucking realities.
Yeah, because that's the only way that it can make sense. Because again, if you go back in time, just because you're at this present time and I go back, doesn't mean that means that no matter what, when you got to that time, you would always go back. So you're not changing history. It's already happened.
Right.
You can't be outside the present.
But that's kind of so. That's what the Hulk said in Avengers is you always go to a new future, even though you're going to the past or something like that. It's still a new future. He was saying you can't disrupt the past.
Yeah.
Basically, how time travel would work is you're going to a new future every time, so a new branch.
Yeah.
I mean, that's all they talk about in that fucking franchise nowadays. So
But again, that branching is, well, because they get into the multiverse, which is, again, different universes or different,
Yeah.
you know,
No, it's the same.
dimensions.
It's the same thing. Yeah, it's time travel. It's, I don't know.
But again, is time travel isn't. It's never going to be time travel.
Right.
You know what I mean?
It's
because,
a misused word. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, we get the idea. We're going back to a different point in history.
Well, I mean,
But-
technically it is time travel. It's just like it's not. You're like Hulk says, you're going to a new future, but you are still traveling some distance.
Yeah.
Or something. I don't know,
Yeah.
man. I would just like it would suck if somebody could come up and say like, yeah, none of this is real. Like,
Yeah.
has like the proof and like, yeah, it's just not real. Like that would really suck. But then it's just like, I don't know. It's crazy, dude. It's crazy. I love
Yeah.
time travel movies. Never stop making them. Time
Well,
cop.
they always, all of them have a different view on how things would happen, like the whole like butterfly effect, and you step on
Yeah.
a butterfly here, and this never happens, or you're never born,
Or like
this and that.
Terminator.
Yeah,
You know, all your
you're always
clothes.
trying to kill somebody but it never changes anything. It still always happens.
Right. I guess in Terminator, yeah, when they change history, just something else fucked up happens, or it delays the idea. Because like, wasn't
it
it?
still always happens? Like
Right.
Judgment Day still always happens, no matter what's changed. They stop them from doing this or this and that. They get rid of the microchip in the arm, so they can't do the research, but they still develop it.
You're right. Yeah, it's fucking crazy. I love it. All right, everybody. Well, that's our show today. Thanks for tuning in. Episode 82 on the books. Make sure you catch us next week. I don't know what the fuck we're gonna talk about, but like I said, I'm gonna do another one of these clips, and we'll kind of deep dive into them. Really enjoyed that, actually.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, make sure you're checking us out on www.tellitrightpodcast.com. Also, make sure you like and follow, share it with your friends. Longtime listeners, thank you for your support. We appreciate it, and we will see you all next time. Peace.
Tell It Right Podcast.